Welcome to Purposeful Living with Cynthia VanWarmer, where we slow down long enough to see what's really happening and take our power back without losing our grace.
All right, everybody, welcome to the first episode of Purposeful Living with my friend here, Cynthia VanWarmer. This has been some time in the making, and I am so excited to be able to introduce her here. So my name is Marc Hildebrand. I'm from Modern Leadership Coaching, and today I get to sit down with my powerful friend, leader, master coach, Cynthia, because it's taken me a while to convince her to put together a podcast. She teaches inside of our certification. I see her leading all over the place, and I'm like, we need to have a space for people to be able to plug into the kind of leader that you are and the kind of energy that you have, but also like your why and your motivation behind it. All right. And so I am just so excited that she asked me to be here and ask her some questions so we can dive into why she put this together, who this is for, but really what you're going to get out of this when you subscribe to this podcast and you listen to it. So Cynthia, thank you so much for inviting me to the show, friend.
Oh, of course, my friend.
All right. You ready to go? Ready to knock this out of the park?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Okay. So, I really want to talk about like the why behind the show. Like, why are we starting there, or why are you starting the show right now? Like, whether there's a moment or something that happened, or just like a desire for you to make an impact. I'm just curious, like when you think about the why behind Purposeful Living, and maybe even just start there with that word, Purposeful Living, right? I'm curious what comes up for you.
My why has always been to help people. It's part of my identity. The why, helping people, making an impact, showing them that they're right where they're supposed to be and that we have choices. We all have choices. Sometimes they're a little bit more difficult than others, but we have choices. We can make a difference. We can impact. We can empower. That's all about what I do. You know, my why. Because I want to help people. You know, you don't have to stay stuck. You have a choice to do something different, to get that something different, to live life in your fullest. And that's all about purposeful living, is living the way you want to, that makes you happy, that makes you want to get out of bed every day. That's why now is my now. It is the right time. There is no right time, right? We all know that, oh, well, maybe not now, maybe later. I'm not ready yet. No, I made a choice that now is the right time for me, whether I was ready or not. Let's go. Let's go.
So let me ask you that. You talked about now is the right time. I'm curious if there is something that happened maybe in your personal journey, in your life, that kind of like got you to kind of like process or work through this process yourself of being able to live this purposeful life. Is there something that you experienced yourself, that you walked through this, that now makes you so like passionate about helping other people through it?
Well, Mark, there was actually a couple things. The first thing is I was letting the outside circumstances and people around me control me. So I couldn't get out and spread my wings, right? The second one is my husband was diagnosed with 2 forms of B-cell lymphoma, and it was a journey. It was a journey. I was taking care of him. But the thing I forgot is I need to take care of me, because I'm the most important part of the equation, right? And then once I actually made that choice, it changed everything. I was able to help him at a higher level. I was able to take care of me and feel good about it. And then I lost him, and that was a whole nother process. But if I didn't have that first choice, that I am going to take care of me and I'm going to do something different to get something different, that would have never happened. And I would still be suffering, right? As we see, all around us. So those were the two big things that I said, I'm done. I'm done. I can't live like this anymore. I'm not happy. And that's when I found you.
Mm.
And my life changed. And now I want to help and change the lives of everyone I can, if they so choose.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is their choice. It is your choice at the end of the day.
So I have a question about that, because a lot of times when people are faced with that, they go right into the actions of like what I need to do, right? They start like, listening to podcasts and reading books and like, what do I need to do to become somebody different, right? And I know you talk a lot about like self-leadership in that process as well. I'm curious, what comes up for you when you have people who are always looking for the tactics of what do I do to get through like this change or to change my situation? What comes up for you?
The first thing is we need to figure out why. My podcasts are all going to be about the why and then the tactics, right? Because if you don't have the why and the foundation, the tactics aren't going to matter, right? I could tell you, Mark, hey, listen to this podcast. But if you don't have your why and you don't feel it, are we really going to follow through with that? Is the big question, right? I mean, we have a lot of diversified people. Some people that may work for, and that's awesome. But then you have the other half of the people that, unless they have a why and the purpose, they're not driven, not motivated to take the next step. So you see where I'm coming from? It's like, here's the thing. If you're not motivated, you're not going to take action. So what motivates you? Is it family? Is it just wanting to be a better person, to be the best version of yourself? Why? I am all about the why. As well as a lot of other people, that it's why. We have to know our why. We have to know why we're doing something so that we are motivated and energized to reach that true potential, to take those actions for the ending result, which I call transformation.
Mm. So thinking about that through the lens of what people are going to get from listening to this podcast, right? I'm sure they can already feel your passion, your purpose, and really thinking about not only the mindset of things, but also the tactics related to things, which I find a lot of coaches don't lean into. I'm curious, like, what do you think somebody who's listening, what would they get from being a part of this, listening to your podcast on a frequent basis?
I think number one is going to be awareness. There's going to be hope and inspiration that yes, I am that person. Yes, I was meant to do this. And then it's going to be the empowerment to, yes, I'm going to do this because I want to do this. Mm. It's my choice. I'm going to do this. So it's awareness, hope and inspiration, and empowerment.
Mm. I want you to go into the awareness piece a lot, because some people who are maybe not in our coaching world maybe aren't too familiar about like how powerful awareness is and what it actually looks like. So can you explain to us a little bit about what you mean by awareness?
Awareness, whether it be reflection, okay? So we walk ourselves through a process where we become aware of how we're showing up. How is this impacting our life? And do we want to continue down that path? Or do we want to choose something different to get that something different? Mm. But if we're not aware, then we just keep living the same, I call it small living. We're living small because we're not aware. We're denying, we're avoiding, we're doing other things. But once we're aware, that's when you start to take that power back. Hope that made sense.
It does. It does. It does. And a lot of this I know has to do with something we talk a lot about, like taking ownership, like owning the things that you have control, right, over, versus trying to take ownership of things you don't have control, right? So I'm curious, can you kind of describe that? Because I know that people come to podcasts and stuff like this and they kind of feel out of control. Like the world is just happening to them. There's just not enough time in the day. They just don't have enough energy. And all of these different things that we call in the coaching terms perspective, right? But I just want you to talk a little bit about like the ownership piece, why that's so important, and how is listening to this podcast going to help people with controlling the things they can control?
Well, ownership, right? Everybody can lead, right? Taking ownership is you grabbing it by the reins and focusing on the things you can control, okay? We can't control the outside circumstances, right? What people say, the way people act, the way they think, we can't control that. But what we can control is how we show up, how we think, how we act, and how we speak. Those are things we can control. That's taking ownership. I am going to do something different because I'm thinking something different. Therefore, I'm going to take the actions and speak differently. That's taking ownership. Following through to get the ending result. It's sort of like practice what you preach, right? Being that role model, that's ownership. And then blessing and releasing the stuff we can't control. Because at the end of the day, Marc, it weighs us down. It consumes us. And when we're in that place of darkness, we can't see the light. That's what I'm here to do. Show people that there is a light at the end of that tunnel. Mm-hmm. You just have to choose to grab a hold of it.
I love that. I also love that, talking about the whole self-leadership and you leading from the front, that is something that I've seen from you time and time again. Not just like when you have learned it, but while you're learning the process yourself, willing to model the behavior you're asking of others. So thank you for that, friend. A couple more questions here. I know that you're going to have a couple other podcasts for people to really dive into like right now, right? But I'm curious, like when you think about the person who you believe this podcast is really for, who comes up for you? Like what comes up for you in terms of who this podcast really is specifically designed for?
Women leaders. Like I said, everybody can lead. And there's a lot of stuff happening in the world today. There's a lot of things happening in our home, things that we can't control, that we're trying to get through every day. But women leaders. And women are powerful. Women are powerful. And to just touch one, just one woman, you are worth it. You have so much potential, and I'm not going to sit back here because I can't. It's part of my identity. I'm not going to sit back here and allow you to go down that path when the good path is right here in front of you. And that's what I'm all about.
Indeed, indeed. So friend, to finish this out, like what, if there's somebody who's listening to this right now, what do you want them to know?
It starts with you. And there was a time when I didn't think that was so. And I might get a little emotional, but That's just part of who I am. It starts with you. And when we finally choose to like lean into that and truly believe it, and I'll get into this in the other podcast, but there's a way that and a process that I've went through to where I truly believe it now. And if I can do it, anyone can. Because I've been through some nasty stuff in my life. And that's why I'm able to do this podcast and be able to talk to people and meet them where they're at. Because in my life, I've been at so many different levels, so many different experiences that have made me who I am. And I want to share and I want to help as many people as I possibly can. Because it means a lot to me. Just to see, somebody who had a bad day, right? And I'm able to speak with them. And there's a smile. It warms my heart. I'm like all tingly right now. It's just, I have to do this. I just have to.
Well, thank you for leaning in, friend. I am excited to listen to all of these episodes. I know that when it comes to the energy that it puts or it takes to put this together, I know on top of the other presentations and the coaching experiences that you're a part of, the one-on-one clients, all that kind of stuff. But when you think about the impact that you're making with this podcast, I just want to say thank you for doing it. Thank you for that energy. And I can't wait to listen to them. Everybody, thank you very much for being a part of this introduction episode. There's 2 other podcasts for you to dive into, and I would highly encourage you to listen to them today and pop into Apple and leave some rating and reviews for Cynthia. I'm sure she would thank you so much for that. It helps a lot to push the show out there. But like Cynthia was saying, a really powerful quote is, we are most equipped to help the person that we used to be. And I cannot wait for you to experience what that's going to look like. So friend, thank you for letting me be a part of this on your first show. And of course, if you ever need me back, I'll be here with bells on.
Thank you, Marc. I appreciate you so much, my friend.
All right, friend. I'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.